Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Potty Planet Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we're going to be talking about Jackass Forever. I don't have a whole lot of history with the Jackass movies. I actually never saw any of them until my girlfriend showed them to me, and I've never seen a single episode of the show. I would like to get my hands on a box set at some point because I know that that does exist. Um, but I have seen Jackass 1, 2, and 3. I did thoroughly enjoy all three of them. And I enjoyed this one about the same as the others. I thought it'd stay. Let's just try. It works. Okay. So yeah, and I like this about as much as the others. I don't. This isn't my favorite. I will say this right off the bat. This is not my favorite of the Jackass movie series. I think my favorite one would probably still be the second one. But let's go ahead and talk about Jackass Forever. This is probably going to be a short review. There isn't really a whole lot to say here, but I do have some notes. So, Jackass Forever stars Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Wee Man, and what the crap? Jackass Forever stars Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Wee Man, and all the guys we know and love, except for Ben Rogera, because he has some issues going on. And Ryan Dunn sadly passed away. It's been almost 11 years now. That's crazy. But it was directed by Jeff Tremaine, who directed the other ones as well. And it was produced by Greg Iguchi and Shauna Zablo Newton. I don't need to go into a plot for this. You know what Jackass is. It's a bunch of friends who do stupid stuff. I was looking forward to this. I actually forgot to put this on my most anticipated movies list of 2022. That and with Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, I was going to put both of those movies on the list, but then after I made that video, I was like, oh, I forgot about those movies. Crap, I should have put those on the list. But this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And it was about as good as I thought it would be. It really, it's, it's exactly what the world needed right now, which is actually my first pro for the movie. Us humans have gone through a lot over the past couple of years, and so this movie to me was very therapeutic. I think this was a breath of fresh air. I think this was something we all needed. There's no political ideology being pushed in this or anything. It's just fun. And I think everyone who has a good enough sense of humor should go see this movie because I think it really is very therapeutic to get something like this in the day and age that we're living in. It was a very funny movie. I laughed quite a bit throughout this movie. I really respect the crew of this movie. I always have respected the Jackass crew because some of the stuff that they do, I just couldn't. Like, I remember one of the sets, I think it was from Jackass 2. It was pretty funny. Steve-O, they went on a boat, and Steve-O took a fish hook, and he put it through his cheek, and then he jumped in the water. And I don't remember who, but one of them was holding the fishing rod, and he was in there swimming around with, like, sharks or... I can't remember if it was sharks or fish, but he was in there swimming around with the fish hook in his cheek, and he took it and pushed it through his cheek. Some of the stuff I just couldn't do. Like, there's one stunt in this movie where you see in the trailer there's a bunch of bees around him. It's because they took the queen bee and they put it on his crotch, and then they took all the other bees and they got attracted to it. I really respect it because I just don't think I could do that. So I've really always respected the Jackass crew because these guys just, they've got the guts and they've got the glory, and I really respect them for it. I also have always loved this crew's sense of family. You can tell they all are very close with each other, and it's really nice to see that kind of camaraderie between them. The stunts in this movie are really good, as they always are. They're really fun to watch, and this movie is very creative it doesn't feel redundant. You would think Jackass at some point would get redundant, but it never did. Jackass always felt fresh. And even in this movie that's coming out now, Jackass 3D came out in 2010, so this is almost 12 years later. We're finally getting another one. And you would think by now it would be old, but it just isn't. It doesn't feel old at all. It always feels fresh. That's one of the good things about Jackass. It always felt fresh. Let's get into my cons. I only have a couple. I'm not going to criticize this movie too much. For one thing, Chris Pontius, bro, he does, like, nothing in this movie. I like Chris Pontius, but he doesn't do, like, any of the cool stuff in this movie, which is really disappointing because I really like Chris Pontius. And the other thing is that, and this is my only real gripe with this movie, is that there is way too many penis stunts in this movie. And at some point, that did feel a tad bit redundant to me. Was the fact that, like, it almost felt like they were having a hard time coming up with stuff. So they're like, let's just keep hitting each other in the crotch. The movie still feels fresh because it's Jackass, and Jackass always does. But at some point, the penis stunts in this movie, I was like, can we do something else? And there are quite a bit of penises in this movie, so just be prepared for that when you go see this movie. If you haven't already, it came out last Friday. I worked all weekend, so I didn't get to see it up until today. But I think I love that this movie exists. I really do. I'm glad we got this movie. I know they're never gonna make this again. I know, like, all the crew have agreed they're not gonna do this anymore. I know, like, Johnny Knoxville, when you watch this movie, you can tell he can't take the hits as well as he used to. They've all just gotten, they're all old. I mean, they just are. They've gotten older now, and it's obvious that at some point they realize they need to stop. And I think it was nice that they all got together and they're like, let's just do one last ride and then we'll stop. That was very nice. I think this was a really nice gift to the world. They did a good job. They killed it. The opening of this movie cost $3 million. This movie was on a $10 million budget, and $3 million of the movie went to the opening alone. So I'm really glad that this movie exists. I'm going to give Jackass Forever a 75. That's the same rating I would give the other three as well. It's Jackass, man. Like, I'm not being overly critical, but I'm not being overly harsh. It's just, it is what it is. Yeah. So, I'm glad we got this movie. I really am. So, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave movie suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Pod Entertainment for channel updates, and much love.
Hi, I'm Chris Darden, and welcome to Jackass!
Tickle, 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 tickle.